I'm here with Alan Davis from Kwantlen Polytechnic University, and I have 4 questions today. So thank you for joining me.
Pleasure.
So the first question is, what is a polytechnic university within BC and the Canadian context?
Yeah, it's something that we've been struggling with over the last few years. I've only been here since September, but my predecessor spent a lot of time talking with members of the community and also the university about what this means. It was somewhat accidental in the sense that the name and the mandate was given to us by the government in response to the Campus 2020 proposal, which identified the establishment of a number of regional teaching universities. Kwantlen was the only one that was given the name of a polytechnic university, and I think the intent was to make sure that it wasn't going to be yet another solely liberal arts sort of 4-year state college kind of school, they would, as you in the US terminology, but would in fact be focused on programs that lead to careers. So the emphasis would be on applied learning, probably an increase in programs that feed off or relate to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And just to make sure that we kept our focus on programs that led to careers rather than very traditional degrees that would lead to graduate studies, although the fact is we do offer all those as well. Another way to define it is that we're probably the only institution that is legitimately a member of ACCC, the Community College Organization, AUCC, which is the university's organization, and also, hopefully, Polytechnics Canada, which includes places like BCIT, SAIT, NAIT, etc. So, in a sense, we try to do probably too much for too many people, but we do cover the full gamut of sort of community college, polytechnic institute, and university.
Okay, that leads very nicely into my next question. What are the challenges for this polytechnic university?
Well, we have a very broad mandate. There's a danger always of being a mile wide and an inch deep. We have very strong programs, flagship programs. We have one of the top design schools in Western Canada. We have a fantastic school of horticulture. We have a wonderful music school, nursing, and then a very, very large faculty of fine arts and faculty of business. So we feel very solid in very, very, very many areas, but the fact is that we don't have enough funding to do what we should be doing as a university. We get about $7,400 per FTE, which is quite a bit less than UBC. Not that but obviously UBC does different things and does a lot more expensive things and has graduate studies, etc. But you know, even within our peer group, we are low within the range of the regional teaching universities, and a place like Thompson Rivers University gets much more per FTE than we do. I think there was a deal made in the heat of the moment to say, don't worry about giving us more money, just give us the university status. And in retrospect, that was not a good decision. You shouldn't try to promise so much with nothing. So we could use better funding just to support fundamentally the idea of trying to be a university, whether it's on applied programs or traditional programs. The other challenge is one of growth. We're in, I suppose it's an advantage that we serve a population that's one of the fastest growing in BC, if not Canada, and we have to grow. I mean, if we're going to sort of sustain our, fulfill our mission as a regional teaching university, we have to serve our region and grow with that region. And also there's a lot of underserved areas of the population, immigrants, Aboriginal people, adults who need to return to learning. There's a whole group of other people who are currently underrepresented, and we should be expanding into that area as well. So that's the challenge, is to get better funding, but also find ways that we can grow. Some of it will be funded, some of it we're going to have to do on the basis of tuition alone. It's a very exciting time. It's a bit overwhelming at times.
So what is your vision for Kwantlen Polytechnic University in the long run? And it's my understanding that it still maintains a community college function.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So you're a combination of a community college and a university. So part of that vision would be, I would guess, if those two functions are sustainable in the long term.
The question will be, depending upon various forces in terms of funding, etc., and other players what the future, for instance, of SFU Surrey is going to be, how BCIT and other institutions with a provincial mandate are going to try to establish themselves or help serve that region, is to be a very, very good community college, a very good university, and a very good polytechnic. But our vision is certainly to try and be the very best polytechnic university in Canada. Now, arguably, you could say, well, you're the only one in Canada right now, so that's easy. But no, I really actually want to sort of set some goals that increase the quality of the institution, that we can demonstrate that we are a very high-quality institution, that we need to be bigger. I expect to double in size over the next 10 years. And I also want people to better understand what the Polytechnic University is and to, in a sense, boost its reputation. And to boost its reputation, by and large, through the quality of its graduates and their impact on their communities, their success in the workforce and at graduate school. Very, very typical expectations, I think, of any post-secondary institution. So it's really sort of bigger, better, and bolder, and grabbing the opportunity that we have, serving a diverse and growing population, and with a unique mandate. I mean, the future is there for us to define and grab, and getting people motivated and our community support behind us to achieve that is really the task, is my task as president.
No small task. No
small task, no.
Okay, so let's shift to the BC system as a whole. How do you see the system evolving over the next 10 to 15 years?
Well, I think, there's a lot of things in play, and BC, having worked back east and worked in the US, in the east coast of the US, BC is still, to some degree, an emerging system. It's still an emerging province, and I think this notion of maturity is very important, that places like KPU, which are unique in Canada, will hopefully mature and grow and demonstrate their value in the future. Places like Thompson Rivers, with its open learning component, I think, has some huge possibilities. Emily Carr, as a university, I think, has some interesting future around focused on art and design, but also as a university. So all these things were kind of thrown, the most recent sort of direction was from the Campus 2020, but now it's going to take a couple of decades, I think, to see that blossom and achieve its full maturity. And of course there have been some fits and starts with the Technical University of BC and the Open Learning Agency. But I think BC is still regarded, depending upon your point of view, as still as a kind of a bit flaky or very, very innovative. And you certainly can't, you can't question BC's effort to try and find ways to reach out to a very diverse, a very dynamic, a maturing population, and all the efforts that it tries to do things differently and explore different options. So I see this sense of maturity of the system, and hopefully each of us in our own way will get better, that the research universities will in fact get better on their own terms, that the regional teaching universities will rise and become leaders in their own field, the same for the college system. In many respects we are one of the most highly articulated systems that I've ever seen, probably in the world. It really is remarkable how well we do there. And then in this field of open learning that's emerged, we're probably again the leaders in Canada. UBC is doing some great stuff. We are getting involved in the Open Textbook Project. TRU has open learning. And this whole embracing of technology and opening up education in new ways, technology-led, is certainly something that BC, I think, can be proud of. And hopefully, if it takes the advantage, can really become national leaders in that, if not international. So I think it's going to be a very exciting future, and certainly one I'm looking forward to being part of.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.